Ladies and gentlemen, a very pleasant, good Wednesday evening to all of you wherever you are. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube from Brooklyn, New York. I want to share part 2 with you about more life lessons that we can learn from. And I want to get a chance to talk to you about it that we didn't get a chance to talk about last week. As always, I'm your man, Yosef Isaiah Benjamin, and I welcome you back again to another podcast presentation of Yosef's 2 Cents. My apologies for the technical difficulties. My Wi-Fi was acting like a sea biscuit for just a moment. But hopefully now we have things in order and we can start this podcast properly. This time without any problems, without any hesitations and interruptions. In the meantime, sit back, unwind, and relax, and we will get started momentarily. We'll be right back after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on both the Facebook side and the YouTube side. Once again, good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining us tonight. My apologies for the technical difficulties. My Wi-Fi went out for a few moments, but thankfully we were able to get it back on. Brother Barron, good evening to you, sir. Thanks for joining us tonight. Greetings and salutations, Brother J. Cole. Thank you for joining us tonight. Lady Marla, I see you as well. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good evening to you as well, dear. Thank you for joining again. On the YouTube side, we have Mrs. James. Greetings to you as well. Thank you for joining us on the YouTube side. Again, ladies and gentlemen, on both Facebook and YouTube, my apologies for the technical difficulties. My Wi-Fi went out, and I am working to I am working to get that taken care of, and I'm hoping that you have had a fantastic Wednesday, and I'm hoping that your Wednesday evening is going along very, very well thus far. Excuse me just a moment, please. All right. I had to make sure that everything was still up and running here, and making sure that I don't have any more problems. I'm still in the process of getting everything updated. So as I'm hoping and praying for, the very next time uh, we will go on the air, you will see some updates concerning my podcast platform. The last few times, just like tonight, um, I have presented live audios instead of live videos um, where you can actually see me. But nonetheless, we are delighted and privileged, as always, to share with you very briefly. Before I continue on, let me make sure that everything is up and running. And can you all hear? Can you all hear me? My Wi-Fi is still, the signal is weak. Just want to make sure you all can hear me very clear. Yeah. All right, good. All right, good, good. Um, okay. Lady Marla says she can hear Brother Barron. Okay, good. Let me check the YouTube side. All right. Sister James hears me. Okay, good. Um, I hope, Sister James, that your husband had a successful and a blessed preaching assignment that that he had. I pray he also had safe travels. Ohio, I believe it was that you said that he was traveling to. I pray he had a safe journey. He had a safe sojourn there and back. And I hope all of you are staying safe out here. And before we get into tonight's podcast, let me just say how appreciative I am, first and foremost, to the Most High protecting myself and protecting my family. And none of us were even on the train when that attack happened, um, because it could have easily have been myself on that train, or one of my other family members uh, on that train. And I want to also say thank you all, everybody from Lady Marla to Brother Barron and whoever else uh, checked on me and made sure that taking the necessary uh, precautions um, that is needed in times such as these. We're doing everything that we can to to stay safe. on the YouTube side. Oh, you all are still in Ohio. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I hope nonetheless you all have a safe journey back home from Ohio. I hope you all had a blessed time, and I hope Elder James spoke with fire and fervor and power that only the Most High can give. You know, there's a lot of ground that we have to cover tonight. It really is, and I'm not going to prolong and waste any more of your time. I'm just going to go ahead and cover a lot of ground. This whole dramatic saga with Will Smith continues on. It continues on. Now, the reports are saying that the whole world has turned against Will Smith. Well, let me say this about the so-called world that calls itself going to turn its back on Will Smith. First off, your hypocrisy sickens me, because the whole world calls itself going to turn its back on Will Smith. First, your fake outrage and your hypocrisy absolutely sickens me. You know why it sickens me? It sickens me because of the reality that you have notorious sexual predators, Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, and others that are Academy Award winning actors and actresses, and they still have their Oscars. But now a veteran actor, Harry Lennox, is calling for Will Smith to return back his Oscars. Miss me with the whole fake outrage, miss me with the whole hypocrisy, miss me with all that nonsense. Because the fact is, once again, you have sexual predators that are known sexual predators, known perverts, and they still have their Oscars. Please, 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 and excuse my French when I say this, please shut the hell up. Your hypocrisy sickens me. See? And human beings, you have selective hearing, you have selective memory, and you also have selective outrage. You have what I like to call selective syndrome. You pick and choose what you want to be outraged about. You do. You do. You pick and choose what you want to be all angry and all upset about. It's the truth. I mean, for goodness sake. If you're going to be outraged about something, make sure that you're going to be sincere about it and it's a legitimate reason. So all of this selective syndrome that the majority of men and women have, sit down and shut up. Because here it is, Will Smith, throughout his 30-year career in entertainment, in show business, right? 30 years in show business. No scandals. And this is what I've been going on from what I've been reading and from what I've read and from what I've heard. No scandals. His reputation has been absolutely squeaky clean. No scandals. No charges against him. None of that. But one moment, out of anger and out of frustration, you call yourselves are going to cancel him. Screw you. Just screw you, man. Because the fact is, this cancel culture is hypocritical in and of itself. It is. Cancel culture is hypocritical. It's a fake. It's a fraud. It's a phony. It's as fake and phony as a $3 bill because of your selective syndrome, your selectivism. It's okay for you to cheer and celebrate this judge, Ketanji Jackson Brown, who has a track record of being very lackadaisical when it comes down to pedophiles. You cheer her. But Will Smith, in his 30-year career, squeaky clean record, squeaky clean reputation, and you cancel him? Screw you. Screw you. Screw you. And it's gotten to the point now where, honestly, I can't take you seriously. I can't. I can't take you seriously. And it's the very same goofs that was laughing at Will Smith, calling him a simp, and unfortunately he is. But some of you dudes are some of the same simps. You all are just as bad off as he is. As a matter of fact, you probably are going through something much worse than he is. It just hasn't reached my inbox. It hasn't reached my email, and it hasn't reached my text message yet. So this is the reason why that it's dangerous to laugh at anybody else's calamity. It's a very dangerous situation to laugh at somebody else's calamity, especially if it's the same calamity you yourself are going through. So I at this point, honestly, I'm learning not to even pay you cats any attention. Because some of you goofs are going through some of the same calamity that Will is going through. Some of your wives don't respect you, just like Jada doesn't respect Will. And I'll say again, from what I said the last time we were on the air together, Will should have never left his first wife. Plain and simple. He should have never have left his first wife. Now, I also understand that the marriage between Will and Jada, it was forced. Okay. No problem. Fine. Big deal. But see, here's the thing also, what you have to also take into consideration. Since the marriage was forced, and this is what I've been reading, I'm only going off of what I've been reading, what I've heard, and what I've read. Okay? The fact is, the reality is, it's not always good for people to play Cupid. You all are not matchmakers. Period. You all are not matchmakers. So the reality is this. If you're going to call yourselves going to play matchmaker, you better know what you're doing. And make sure that you have at least 50 or 60 years of marital experience. Because if you don't, sit down. Man, y'all slay me. You gonna be laughing at Will Smith? Please. Some of you are bigger simps than Will Smith is. But see, what's happening with Will is Will doesn't know how to love himself. Will does not know how to love himself, because if he did know how to love himself, we would not be having this discussion tonight. So life lessons continue on. I'm looking at his calamity as a lesson as to what not to do. It's the truth. This is a lesson as to what not to do. And I see your observations, and I'm going to get to them in just a moment. But let's start at the very top, though, because the main ingredient, if you please, the reality is that, first off, in addition to Will not, he should have never have married Jada in the first place. The Most High has got to be in Will Smith's life. And until he's in Will Smith's life, his life is going to continue to get worse. He can get all the rehab he wants. But if he does not discover the Most High for himself, things are going to get worse for him. It's the truth. And so the first lesson that we didn't talk about was this selective outrage. This selective outrage. I will say again, I will be purposely redundant when I say Will Smith has had a career, 30 years. Oscar winner. I think he won a Grammy too. And I think if memory serves me correctly, the Grammy Awards is the highest honor in music. Just like the Oscar Awards is the highest honor in theatrics. And he's won both of them. One moment, and you goofs are ready to cancel him, please sit down and shut up. Miss me with your selective syndrome. Miss me with that. And let me throw this out here too. As well-groomed, as well-spoken, as well-educated, as articulate as Will Smith is, he is still a well-groomed, well-spoken, well-articulate nigger in Hollywood. That's also the pink elephant in the room. Understand something. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living, once again, in a weaponized society where people have their picks and their chooses. You cannot get over it. You cannot escape it. People have their picks and their chooses. It's unfortunate, but this is the reality that confronts all of us. It's the truth. You understand me? Now, you can try and you can be in denial about it all you want. But you being in denial about the weaponization of the world that all of us are living in, guess what? It won't change a thing. It's not going to change a thing. I still argue the point. I still pontificate the point. I still argue the point. He's got to have the Most High in his life first. Only then, and only then, will things get better for him. Because if he doesn't, things will get worse. And now all of a sudden, Jada is retracting her support of her husband. See? It's the truth. And I'm getting all of this information before I went on the air. She retracted her support of her husband. But I've already said that she's not wifey material. She's not wifey material. Understand this. She is not now, nor will she ever be Wifey material. Let me sip my water. Because while I'm giving you all these life's lessons, from everything to your selective syndrome, you pick and you choose what you want to be outraged about, to Will Smith still being a well-groomed, well-educated, well-articulate, talented nigga. And let's face it, folks. The reality of the matter is that the racist whites in this country, guess what? They still see all of us who are not the same complexion as they are as 3/5 human. That's also the pink elephant in the room. And you would be an absolute moron to think that racism has died out when racism is even more alive and is even more prevalent than ever before, especially in this 21st century. We are almost a quarter of a century in the 21st century. And if you think for one moment that racism and white supremacy has died, it is you are a fool. It is still rampant. It is still running rampant, and it is more alive now than ever before. And it's not as subtle as it was before. They're just blatant with it now. They're even more blatant with it. See? But of course, once again, your bishops, your archbishops, your pastors, your ministers, your imams, your rabbis, your priests, they are not going to tell you the same things that I'm going to tell you. You know why they're not going to tell you? Because they are servants of the system. They are servants, dare I say, they are system servants. They are servants of Babylon. There, I threw it out there. Yeah. Yeah. Now, let me digress for just a moment and let me observe your observations on both Facebook and on the YouTube side. On the Facebook side, we're going to start with J. Cole. He says, but because a black man did it, now they blame black men for bringing in new strict gun laws or law enforcement. He's talking about the attack up here in New York that happened in Brooklyn, in South Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken, in Bay Ridge. That's what he's talking about. And of course, this is the false narrative that they bring upon. Honestly, I think it's a distraction for something bigger. I just think that it's just a distraction for something much bigger. Because the things that we are seeing and we're hearing, I really believe that to some degree, they're all smoke screens. What we have to be frightened and concerned about is that which is not seen, what is not being reported, what is not being heard. The unseen is where the real danger is. Brother Barron says, not the world. The world is weaponized. In your books of scripture, for those of you that are true students and true scholars of the Bible, those of you who are not counterfeit sons and daughters of the Most High, if you read Job chapter 9, verse 24, it says that the world is handed over to the wicked. One day I plan to teach and preach from that one verse so you can get a better view of and a better understanding of the depth of the meaning of those few words. Lady Maul hit the nail on the head. Wicked world. And she further strengthens my argument. Job 9:24. Job chapter 9, verse 24. Yeah. Brother Barron says, we as men will have problems in our relationship, and it's how we act in the situation. I'll say again, and you're right. Look, because of our imperfections as men and women, there's going to be bumps in the road. I get that. There's going to be bumps in the road, of course. But the point is tonight, for everybody to cancel Will over one moment of anger, when for the majority of his career, it has been squeaky clean. People are going to call themselves cancel them. Going to cancel this man? No. Just no. Just stop. And he is married to a Hollywood witch. But the Most High, in the Apocrypha, and see, this woman, Jada, she doesn't have any shame, man. She has no shame, none. And in the Apocrypha, I believe according to the book of Ecclesiasticus, it says that a woman that has no shame is counted as a dog. Just saying. Brother Barron saying she's attending awards while he's banned for 10 years. Listen. Ladies, listen to me carefully. Especially the ladies tonight. Jada Pinkett Smith is a lesson that you need to learn. And if you want to be a wife to an honorable man, learn everything that you should not do. Learn all the don'ts from Jada Pinkett Smith. Learn what not to do. Learn what not to do from Jada Pinkett Smith. J. Cole says Jada was banging. Jesus. Jada was banging Mark Anthony back in 2011, and then while Will Smith was away on set, August Alsina was banging his wife in his bed that Will and Jada shared. That's the ultimate disrespect. Once again, see, I'm not disputing anything you're saying because you're right. But what I'm also trying to convey to all of you tonight is this. You can't put any kind of expectation. You can't put any kind of expectation on human beings. Young Myron, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us tonight. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Hey, Prince, Hey, Allah, what's going on, bro? Thanks for joining us tonight. He says, I agree. This is now a lynching. He got clowned for what he did, as he should have, because he was wrong. But that should have been it. Yeah. And he continues, that's a real harlot right there. Man, listen, you said a mouthful. She is counted in the scriptures of the Bible. She's counted as a dog. She is counted as a dog. Plain and simple. She is counted as a dog. Plain and simple. As well as her being a harlot. She is. Let's see what Miss Bianca says. Bianca says, I and my friends came up with the conclusion that Jada was paid off to destroy her husband's career. That's it's a bit interesting there. And you know what? I wouldn't rule it out. I really wouldn't rule. As a matter of fact, let's say for the sake that she was paid off to destroy her husband's career. Let's say that she was. What do you all think? And I'm going to get to the YouTube side in just a moment. But what y'all think? Do you think that's a possibility? That she was actually paid to destroy her husband's career? I mean, let's face it. Will Smith, when I checked his net worth, he was worth at least $350 million. He is one of the biggest blockbuster actors in that circle. And because he is one of the biggest grossing actors in Hollywood, she's jealous of him. She's jealous. She is jealous of her own husband's success. Now, for those that's going to say, how can you bash her? How can you bash her? Listen, I'm not bashing her. The reality is I'm pointing out reality, and it's destroying your delusions, and you don't want your delusions disturbed. It's the truth. It's the truth. I don't know. But that's what I say. Let's see. Brother Prince A. Allah says Barron might be onto something there. Actually, brother Allah, that was Brother Barron's daughter, Bianca, that made that observation. See, even our young people are taking, pay attention to what our young people are doing. Even our young people see this. Even our young people are using their brains. Even our young people are taking notes. Our young people are taking notes. Brother Eric, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us tonight. Happy to have you in the fray. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hey, Giselle, what's going on? She says, in the Bible, her means whore, just as Jada is living her life. Ooh. Boy. No comment. Whew. And people don't want to read the Bible. I see why. People don't want to read the Bible because it confronts them about their sin and their dysfunction. J. Cole says he's married to a Hollywood harlot. What ye know not, that which is joined to a harlot is one body, for two, saith he, shall be one flesh. 2 Corinthians 6:16. Sad. So sad. J. Cole says black women are actually busy defending her. That says a lot about them. Fellas, if black women are defending Jada, that's a sign not to marry her. Man, listen. You get no argument from me. These young Bible students, they're studying. These young people are taking notes. They're making observations. It was Miss Bianca that made the observation that she said Jada could possibly have been paid off to sabotage her husband's career. Could very well have. That could very well be the case. Brother Eric says, this society of people are scared of the scriptures. Man, listen. As I always say, Brother Eric, when somebody is in the wrong, guess what I always say? But that's not my problem, though. And neither is it yours, Lady Mollis, J. Cole's, Brother Barron, Sister and Elder James, and Miss Bianca and others. That ain't our problem, though. That's their problem, and they need to get that straightened out. Speaking of which, let me tell you black women something. And I want you to listen to me very carefully. When I get on the case of women, I'm talking about women in general. But mainly tonight, this time, I want to talk to you black women. You need to be chastised. The Most High is still giving you an opportunity to get your act together. Now, I don't know how long the Most High is going to give you to get your act together. But the reality of the matter is the Most High, his patience is running thin now. And if you haven't been paying attention, let me give you a news flash. Because people are starting to reap what they have sown faster than ever before. In addition to that, the Most High is starting to warn people much faster and much more often than ever before, too. You cannot continue down the road of decadency and debauchery and chicanery, black woman. As a black woman, you understand? And for you to disrespect and reject and dismiss correction, you are sealing your own fate. Not just black women, but women in particularly, but most importantly in this context, the black woman. And that's why a lot of men continue to walk away from you and you continue to take these L's. And that's the truth. Every single time you get on here, I go on there, guess what? It's going to be a classroom. I may entertain you a little bit here and there, but for the most part, this is going to be a classroom. And that's the truth. All right, let me check on the observations on the YouTube side. Sister James says, have respect, with emphasis on respect. Have respect for yourself, black woman.
Next time if that happens, you can jump on the hotspot on your phone too until it comes back.
Shoot, not even the hotspot on my phone is working.
Huh?
Not even the hotspot on my phone is working.
The hotspot on your phone ain't got nothing to do with the home internet though.
Y'all hear me?
You got an internal hotspot on your phone that you can connect to.
Hold on a minute, guys. Hold on. Yeah, I was trying to do that earlier, but it wouldn't let me. It's not working for some reason.
I'll show you when you get off.
All right, guys. Can y'all hear me? I apologize. All right, good. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Thanks, Mom. All right. All right. Let's see. All right. Good. We're back on. All right. And where was I? Miss James was saying, put God in the midst of the whole marriage. Well said. Well said. Well said. All right. Now that we are now that we're back on, and again, I do apologize for the technical difficulties. We have things up and running again. But I want to say this. The truth with all of us is that we hate, for some reason, why is it that we are allergic to the truth, especially when it's about ourselves? We are allergic to the truth, especially when it comes down to ourselves. Why is that? Are we really that bad off as a people? Seriously? But I'm gonna share this with you. That's why a lot of men, and see, here's the thing. A lot of men believe it or not, they love you, black woman. A lot of men do. Black men really love black women. But the reality is you have forced their hand. And either they are going in search of love in other nations, or they choose the route or the path of being completely, what's the word I'm looking for? They have abstained from sexual intercourse with any woman. And deep down in your heart, you know that whatever a man is saying about you, black woman, you know it's the truth. You just run from it. You run from it. But I cannot get on the case of the black woman without getting on the case of the man. Let me tell you men something. Now, the majority of men, not all, but the majority of men, you all have become soft and feminine and just weak. How in the world can another man become so jealous of another man? You're focusing on what another man wears. Well, why he got to be wearing jewelry? Why does he got to be wearing a suit? Why is this shirt so shiny? Come on, man. You really sound weak as water. And that's why women don't have any respect for you. Just the other day, I had some melanated male gonna call me weak because I won't call these wicked black women out. Let me tell you something. He's one of these types that's always calling black women out on their nonsense. But yet he goes overseas to Brazil and other parts of the world calling himself going to help out those that really appreciates him. No, here's the thing. It's not that I'm not aware of the wickedness and the treachery of the black woman. You got a lot of them out here. I just don't go on a perpetual diatribe and talking about how wicked these black women really are. That's him. And part of the reason why he's doing that is because chances are black women has never given him any attention at all. Now he calls himself going to go over to Brazil or somewhere, some other part of the world to help out, but he's really helping himself. Do not let any of these other YouTube content creators fool you, because a lot of them, they hate their own lives. They do. They hate their own lives. Yeah, they do. They hate their own lives. So they come on Facebook, they come on YouTube or Instagram, and they call themselves trying to get famous. Meanwhile, they don't have any of the connections to even make it mainstream. So if it's not a woman acting masculine, it's a dude acting feminine. You see how the roles have reversed? I do. And speaking of which, it was reported and see, here's the thing. It was reported some time ago that a black man was killed by his white girlfriend. And now, as usual, all kinds of incendiary statements and all kinds of remarks about him are being made, talking about, well, he made some derogatory. But as soon as a black woman is killed by her white husband or her white boyfriend, it's rest in peace, girl. It's RIP. But when it comes down to a black man, you call him everything but what he really is. So don't get mad at me for speaking this. Get mad at yourself because you refuse to improve on the situation that's been going on. You get mad at me and others for speaking the truth, yet you don't want to do anything to correct what's going on. See? I know this is a bitter pill to swallow, but doggone it, you gonna get this truth in here now. If you don't improve, right? If you don't improve yourself, how are you going to improve yourself unless you talk about what's going on? You talk about what's happening. How? How? Don't get mad at me and don't get mad at others of us for telling you the truth. See? This is why part 2 from last week of life's lessons. And then another thing too. Y'all going back, if it's not you all going back and forth with Will and Jada, then y'all talking about Russell Wilson and Ciara, and you're talking about, Russell Wilson is corny. Well, let's explore that. Let me ask you all a question. Why do you think Russell Wilson is corny? Why do you think Russell Wilson is a simp? And let me remind you that the very same ones of you that's calling other dudes a simp, some of you all are some of the biggest simps in the world. You going through some of the same things, some challenges yourselves with a woman that don't love you, with a woman that don't respect you. See? I get it. Some of you all are wondering, are you taking his side? See, are you thinking with logic or are you thinking out of emotion? Because let me say this. I suspect, and I probably have said this in the past before. I've done so many podcasts, I don't even try and keep up with what I say anymore. But I probably have said that the reason why a lot of men have called Russell Wilson a simp is because men look at Ciara as the rapper Future's leftovers. I don't mean to be rude and crude, but I'm going somewhere with this. And in addition to a lot of men looking at Ciara as Future's leftovers, right? There are also those that argued the point. Ciara really doesn't love Russell Wilson because she's only with him because of his resources. And that's the truth. This is what a lot of men are saying. And then there are also those that argue the point that the majority of contemporary women today, black women, white women, Latina women, Indian women, Jamaican women, Asian, African, whoever, that the majority of contemporary women today are hybristophiliacs. And what is a hybristophiliac? A hybristophiliac is a woman that is sexually attracted to a man, in scientific terms, that is criminally violent or criminally insane. That is what a hybristophiliac is. Now here's the thing. Here's something else with this whole situation with Russell Wilson. Now, you same people that was complaining about Will and Jada, and you are finding, some of you, I'm convinced you all just enjoy drama. But see, here's the thing. Before Russell Wilson got with Ciara, he was with a white woman. And you all were calling him some of the biggest sellouts, some of the biggest coons, some of the biggest house niggas in the whole world. Some of you all were accusing him of that. Now he's with Ciara. Now you got him and Ciara as a meme talking about relationship goals. See, this is what I'm talking about. Your selective outrage. This is the reason why that I can't take the majority of you clowns seriously. See? Come on. Y'all don't like that now, huh? Well, look, you all are saying this. You all were saying this. Before Russell Wilson got with Ciara, y'all were calling him the biggest coon, the biggest Sambo, the biggest sellout, the biggest house nigga in the world. Now he's with Ciara, and now y'all making memes of him and Ciara talking about relationship goals. And the same could be said for Michael B. Jordan. Y'all were calling him a sellout too. Now he's with a melanated woman. Now y'all talking about this is relationship goals. Man, miss me with that. 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 Come on, miss me with that. Let me get to you some of your observations. Miss Giselle says, because people are so absent-minded. Let me further add on to say that people also act their genetics. And a lot of the times, Sister Giselle, a lot of people don't come from good genes. They don't come from good stock. A lot of times, you got a lot of men and a lot of women that comes from dysgenic bred backgrounds, which is the cause of them being absent-minded. Miss Bianca says, some don't even believe themselves. They just want to control the other person. Young lady, I applaud thee. And it all goes back to what I said also earlier about Will Smith. That man doesn't know how to love himself. That is a broken man. He's broken. He's shattered. All the love that he was given to Jada, he should have been given to his first wife. And I'm going to leave that alone. Giselle says it's all about manipulation. People are very, very predatory and manipulative by their very nature. That all goes, and it all stems back to their their dysgenic breaded background. See? Brother Barron says, that's true, brother. Lady Marla says, they only say that because he loves his family. And they live vicariously through him because they want what he has. See, jealousy is like this. Jealousy is really a misconstrued form of admiration. You'll be surprised to know just how many people are actually living through these celebrities. With their selective outrage. Miss Bianca says, Jesus saved Mary Magdalene. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. From the mouth of babes, let me get some water, and I'll drink to that. I will drink to that. I told y'all, I keep telling y'all, our babies are paying attention here. Our babies are paying attention, and they're taking notice. Don't think our babies ain't paying attention. They taking notice. Brother Barron says we are all leftovers. Or as Minister Louis Farrakhan once said, in an analogy or metaphor, whoever you got something used too. Oh, Lord. Oh, boy. Oh, Lord. Let's see. Giselle says, I want a Russell Wilson. Listen, Giselle, any intelligent woman would want a Russell Wilson. All these goofs are saying all this stuff. That's probably falsehood because they have miserable lives. And if you pay attention to this too, peep this. Pay attention. Everybody that's anti-relationships and anti-marriage, those are some of the most miserable people in the world. But yet, I understand why it is. See, this is my stance. I am of the belief that a lot of men and a lot of women, they still believe in marriages. They want relationships, but because they find themselves single for one of these two reasons. One, they are taking the time to properly heal from that last relationship because they don't want to sabotage the next relationship that they're going to be in. Secondly, they see that the prospects out here is not promising at all. The prospects out here is just absolutely atrocious. And no man and no woman in their right mind wants to be with another man or another woman that's toxic and that's carrying excess baggage. And then another thing also, a lot of men are not in relationships because they are starting to learn even more the humanistical nature of the contemporary woman. They can see right through their nonsense. And likewise, a virtuous woman, I'll say, don't want to be with a no good dude. who's more softer than she is. Am I right? See? Brother Barron says Russell don't have any children by no other woman, and that's great. That is great. He's not a baby father. You got goofballs that would much rather be baby fathers and baby mamas instead of husbands and wives. Let me pour this water in my cup here. Because you got a lot of that going on. See? You know what? Brother Barron makes a good point. He says he was just learning himself. See, just because, all of us are on different levels of sojourn about discovery of self. Not only about discovery of self, but also discovery of the Most High, discovery of self, discovery of how this world really is. And just because somebody is not on a level that is as high as you, don't count them out. Because even though that there are still a lot of people that will never get it, you still got some people that's going to wind up getting it before this is all said and done. It's the truth. It's the truth. And you know something else too? Sister Giselle, you're doing the right thing. Take your time. As you should. Take your time. As you should. And if more people were to take their time, they wouldn't be in the position that they're in. See, let me throw this out here, man. And I'm almost finished. I've held y'all long enough. I'm about to wrap it up when I say this. The reality is, all of us, if you really open up and you admit it, right? In a lot of ways, you are still discovering yourself too. A lot of us are still discovering who we really are too. If anybody says, I've already discovered who I am and blah, 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 and no. You need to run away from them as quick as possible, because there is absolutely no way in the world that a man or woman can possibly discover who they are, who they themselves are, in a short period of time. Because the fact is, when you learn about the Most High and you learn about yourself, that is an everlasting journey until you leave this world. You never stop growing. You never stop developing. You continue to mold and cultivate your mind and cultivate your spirit. It is a perpetual and an everlasting sojourn. You are going to be molding and scolding and shaping yourself until the Most High takes you out of here. It's the truth. You are learning more and more about yourself. And one of the reasons why you have to continue on learning about yourself and you continue to discover things about yourself is because of the fact we are living in a world that will swallow your soul up if you're not careful. That's why it is so important to protect your mind and protect your heart and protect your spirit at all costs. Why do you think the scripture says, come ye out from among them and be ye separate? That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is called eugenics or epigenetics. Because if you're not careful, you begin to think like them and act like them and talk like them. If, of course, you're not careful, you have to be careful with what you feed your mind, your body, your spirit. You got to be careful who you are around. And if by chance somebody stopped talking to you, it's probably because they have outgrown you and you have outgrown them. It's vice versa. It works both ways, folks. On the YouTube side, Miss James says, you're telling the truth, Reverend. All praises goes to the Most High. She continues the rest of your life. Yeah, you're going to continue to learn about you and about yourself for the rest of your life. You are. You are going to continue learning about yourself for the rest of your life. And a big problem, and I'm almost finished. And I'm getting ready to give my final 2 cents. See, people, they already want a finalized product. They want something finished. They already want something that's ready to go. They already want a finished product. Let me throw this out here too. How can you expect something of somebody else when you haven't even reached that level of maturity yourself? I'll say again, this is one of the reasons why it's imperative and it's important for a man and a woman. When I say man, I mean mankind, man and woman. When a man discovers something about himself or herself, take notes. Take notes. And a lot of times, we rush the journey, the humanistical sojourn. We rush through that. See, if you learn to take these memes, because a lot of these memes, y'all just post them up there for your entertainment, but a lot of these memes, they hold a lot of truth. They hold a lot of truth. I close with this. It is very unfortunate that Will Smith is being destroyed. 30 years of no scandals, no reports of drug abuse or alcohol abuse. Squeaky clean for 30 years. Will Smith, in a moment of illogical thinking, was trying to defend a woman that is just simply undefendable. Jada does not love Will. She never did, and she never will. Especially for the last 2 years, she has emasculated this man. She has truly emasculated this man. And black women are still defending this kind of dysfunction. I'm not laughing at Will Smith and his calamity. I'm not. Because to me, it is a divine reminder as to what not to do. Just like you learn do's and don'ts, ifs and if nots, why and why nots, this is a don't. This is a do not do. This is something that you do not enact. This is something that you don't do. And this selective outrage, this cancel culture is full of nonsense. This cancel culture is full of horse manure. Pardon me. It's full of horse manure. As a matter of fact, let me read a passage of scripture right quick from the book of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 1. It says, dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. So doeth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. You know what that means? That man makes one mistake and you're ready to jump down his throat like he is a notorious criminal that has a long rap sheet of wrongdoing. This is that example. I'm going to read that verse one more time. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 1. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. So doeth a little folly himself that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. Come on, man. Come on now. Seriously? This is what we're doing. Never mind that he's had a reputation for 30 years of being squeaky clean. Now, all of a sudden, in an act of anger, you're ready to cancel him? Man, miss me with that. Miss me with your fake outrage, man. Miss me with that. Miss me with that. Let me read from the New International Version of that same chapter in that same verse. As dead flies give perfume a bad smell, so a little folly outweighs wisdom and honor. So what have we learned tonight, even more so? What have we learned tonight? Cancel culture is fake and phony. It's fictitious. People have selective outrage. And you make one mistake, people cancel you. And then when you go back and forth between Ciara and Russell Wilson and Will and Jada, the fact is you're living vicariously through these people. And not only do you live vicariously through these people, you're doing that because you hate your own lives. And when you hate your own lives, this is the end result as to what you do. You have selective outrage. Now, me personally, I don't ever keep up with these celebrities. I don't. I do not serve these celebrities. These celebrities don't serve me. I don't know them. They don't know me. And chances are I'll never see them. I'll never see them. They'll never see me. And after the way people have used their selective outrage, guess what? Man, y'all make me not even want to even be bothered. Some of y'all are just too weak as water, man. Y'all just weak as water. You're oversensitive about every doggone thing. Everything. Y'all just weak as water. Y'all just weak, man. Y'all oversensitive about everything. Everything. So let's take everything that's going on with these celebrities as life's lessons. Two things I want to make mention of, and then we're going to get out of here. Number one, be careful laughing at somebody else's calamity, because it's them today, but it could be you tomorrow. And number two, somebody said that people are much willing to cancel the Oscar awards faster than they are going to cancel Will Smith, because Tyler Perry and other celebrities are going to back Will Smith and they're going to give him opportunities to act in their films. What y'all think about that? Me get to your observations and then we're out here. Brother Barron says, before I got married, I had to learn myself as joining in a committed relationship, and I learned the hard way. That taught me to be patient with my wife. Kudos to you, Brother Barron. Kudos to you. Giselle says, walk through this life with your head held high, because there is always someone at the end of the road to attack your journey. Well said. Well said. Brother Prince, appreciate the compliment, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you for tuning in. That's on the Facebook side, on the YouTube side. Mrs. James says, come on, Reverend Teach. She said, because someone falls asleep. Listen, we've been asleep long enough now. It's time for us to all wake up. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case. Well, It's been a ball, but the clock on the wall says that's all for now. Thank each and every one of y'all for listening to me. Like, share, and tag your family and friends on Facebook. Like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. And donate to my cause, our cause. My Cash App is $Hidden One Truth. That's $Hidden One Truth. I'm Yosef Benjamin, folks. That's been my 2 cents. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Enjoy the rest of your evening. See you on Saturday. Peace. I'm out.
I'll be yours and you'll be mine. I'll be yours and you'll be mine, my sweet baby.